to my channel. My name is Kayshine, and thank you so much for clicking on this video today. You already know your girl is back with another freaking story time based on the title. You already know what I'm about to talk about. Y'all, I skipped last week. I'm sorry. Did y'all miss me? Probably not. I probably ain't miss you, girl. But I missed y'all, and I'm so excited to be back, y'all. We're about to really hop right into this story. You already know. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram and TikTok at kayshine with 3 E's, okay? Make sure you guys are subscribed. I know a lot of y'all like to just watch. But at this point, like, when you gonna subscribe? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, haven't you watched enough videos to determine if you like me or not? Go ahead and subscribe. And then when you subscribe, when you go to school, tell your classmates to subscribe. Even tell your teacher to subscribe. Make sure you tell your neighbor when you go to the grocery store. You know, when you at the gas station getting this high-ass gas, make sure you say, hey, yo! Is you following Kayshine on YouTube or what? You feel what I'm saying? Like, y'all blunt, okay? Y'all ain't scared to yell. Follow Kayshine, you know? But anyways, make sure you guys comment down below because I love to see you guys' comment. Give this video a big thumbs up. And without further ado. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I'm standing up. Okay? If you don't like that I'm standing up, I remember when I used to stand up back, like in my old videos, they used to be like, why are you standing up? Sit down. Like, why are you standing up? Like, if me standing up really bothers you, you got bigger things to worry about in your life. Okay? You know? But I am standing up and I got braids again. I just got some new braids. I know y'all probably sick of seeing me with braids, but listen, who gonna do my hair? Who gonna buy me some bundles? Who gonna buy me in the wig? Let me know. I'm just kidding. I've been working out, so braids is just very convenient for me at the moment. So yeah, I got braids. Also, I got new nails. These are my Easter nails. These are flowers on this side and fruit on this side. Okay, you know. So yeah, so that's that, right? I did all the updates. By the way, my health is getting better, you know. R.I.P. to my fur baby Taz. I'm gonna always talk about him, you know, it is what it is. So if you get sick of hearing about him, that's too bad. So yeah, everything has been good. Everything's been good. Taking it day by day. Alright. I think we covered everything. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Let's go. Alright, y'all, so boom! I know some girl had a comment saying, like, can you not say boom so loud? No. That's my thing, girl. That's my thing. That's how I start my videos. I can't. I'm so sorry, sis. But boom, y'all, let's hop right into the video. Okay, so let me tell you how I had to stop being friends with these people, okay? So, alright, I went to school. As many of us do. Okay, I was in school, y'all. And I met these I'm going to just call them Thing 1 and Thing 2 because I don't feel like giving them no names, y'all. I met these two girls. Thing 1, she was ugly. Okay, listen, though. Hear me out. Hear me out. She knew she was ugly because she was one of those people that, like, had, like, short hair that didn't do anything to her hair. Like, she would just have a headband to push it back and then the rest would just be, like, you know, out. Like, she didn't keep up with her hair and stuff like that. So, but the thing is, she had a banging body, okay? She had little nice JCs, big boobs. Like, she had a nice little body. She had one of those stomachs that was like, ooh, she had one of those stomachs that I wish that I had. Because my cousin got this stomach, too. You know how some girls are, like, naturally fit, like, in their stomach? Like, it's just naturally flat. People that I hate. So, no, let me not say that. Hate is a strong word. But, yeah, she had a flat stomach, nice little body, whatever. Mind you, we were in high school. So, you know, I ain't being weird about it. But I'm just saying, you know, I got to call it how I see it. So, Thing 1 was kind of ugly. Like, she had bad skin or whatever. And it's no shade. I'm just describing her because y'all be saying that I don't be describing people in my videos. So I'm just trying to describe her. She had bad skin. She did not keep up with her hair. And she needed braces. But she didn't want braces. That's what she said to me. But whatever. So she wasn't really giving, you know, all of that. But that was my girl. Like, she was super cool. So, of course, I don't care. Like, I don't care about how you look or whatever. That's on you. But she was cool to me. Not like she had a bad attitude or anything like that. But I'm just describing how she looked. So that's how Thing 1 looked, right? But she was cool. Always had me laughing. Always the one, like, cracking jokes and, like, busting out, like, at the lunch table, busting out with raps and all of that stuff like that. Like, she was giving one of those, right? So she was super funny, super cool, right? So that's Thing 1. Thing 2 is they called each other sisters because they had been friends and lived on the same block since, like, elementary school or something like that. So they call each other sisters. So, like, it's kind of like if you know Thing 1, you gonna know Thing 2 as well because she always with her. And she was like she was like a grade below us or whatever. But she was cool too. So she was cute. She was a cute girl. She kept up with herself or whatever. But she was giving more like cute girl, but tomboyish vibes, you know what I mean? But she was cute, but she kept up with herself a little bit more than thing one. But thing two was cool. Like, she just, like, you know, it was all good, whatever. We would hang out from time to time. Like, they lived like kind of around the corner from me, but like they lived in walking distance, but it wasn't like literally around the corner, right? Like, you know, a good little 10-minute walk from me, right? So we would hang out from time to time, because every time I would go up to that park that was like down the street from my house, they would always be up there. So we eventually became cool. And then of course, because I seen them around school, everything was everything, right? So anyways, so I would hang out with thing one and thing two from time to time. I'm really talking about thing one because I never really been to thing two house. I only been over to thing one house. But like thing one, mama was always home or whatever. So I don't know if her dad took care of them, but she was always home, and she was always let like everybody come over, let us jump on the trampoline in the backyard and stuff. Like, it was all of that, right? So I got my car in high school or whatever. So like when we all started hanging out, at first thing one, mama would take us to the movies, take us to the arcade, take us up, you know, just take us places or whatever. But once I got my car, I started picking up thing one and thing two. Well, I take that back. I have been to thing two house, but like not inside. Like, I've only been there to pick her up and stuff like that and drop her off, but I never been inside. But anyways, that don't even matter. So we became cool. Like I said, like we were building a bond. We wasn't like best friends. I wouldn't say that, because I already had like my set of best friends. Shout out to them. But they was cool. Like, they was definitely cool people to hang out with, to kick it with, all of that good stuff. So we started hanging out, and a lot of times, like when we would hang out, like the boys will always want to talk to either me or thing two, and everything one. And this is the thing, y'all. This is the thing. I would try to like help thing one, but like she honestly was one of those people that was okay with how she looked. And who am I to judge? I always tell y'all, like, look, I can help somebody, but if they don't want to change how they look or how they dress or how they house look or anything, I'm not gonna force y'all. Because I know a lot of y'all, when I be doing my story times, y'all be like, why you didn't tell him his house was junky? Why you didn't tell him he stink? Why he did? I don't like to do all that, because it's like, once I help you the first time, if you cool with how you look and stuff, like, I'm not gonna keep pressing the issue, because you don't have to look to my standards. You might be okay with looking how you look. So who am I to judge, you know? So it was this one time, because y'all know, really back in middle school is when I really started getting into like the crazy color hair and like the makeup and stuff and all that. But I couldn't do too much because I was in middle school, and my mama ain't play that. Like, you can't go to middle school with different color hair and makeup on. Like, she wasn't having none of that. Okay, I barely could do. I could barely put on eyeliner. Like, I remember I used to go to the bathroom when I went to middle school and put eyeliner on the bottom of my eyes. And when school was letting out, I would go in there, take some tissue, wet it, and take it off, because I knew if my mama seen me with eyeliner on, she was gone. You know. But like, the only time she would let me really play in makeup was at home, and then I had to take it off. So like, I knew I couldn't be in school with it. But anyways, that's when I originally got into it. So when I would go and see thing one, like if we was going to the movies and I go pick her up, I'd be like, you know, let me fix your hair, like let me lay your edges down, like let me hook you up, let me put you a little lash on, because again, we're in high school now, so like lashes is cool, like little stuff like that. So I would try to help her out or whatever, and she'd be like, nah girl, I'm good, like I don't do all the makeup stuff, I don't like that. So I'd be like, okay, bet. So I'm like, you want me to put your hair in a little ponytail? Because the only thing I could really attempt to do to her was ponytails, like just a ponytail or a bun. Like, swoop your hair back and put a ponytail in a bun in. That's all I could really help her with. Like, I ain't know how to braid, I ain't know how to do none of that. So I'm like, this the easiest thing. And back in the day, you know, them buns, they was already made for you. Like, either you can cut the tip of a sock off and roll it up, or you can get those pre-made buns that was at the beauty supply store. So I was telling her, like, girl, look, if you got a sock, an old sock, I would cut a sock off, roll it up, put it on your hair, and then, you know, put the bun around it or whatever. But like I said, she really had short hair. So I was like, or if you got some tracks, like I can mold your hair up and then just wrap a ponytail around it. You know what I mean? Like, because I just want her to look decent. But if she didn't want to, then, you know, whatever. But she was still cool, and that was my girl, so it was what it was. So I would try to help her. She'd be like, no, I'm good. So what she do always, we'd get dressed at her house, and then she'd put them headbands on and just let her hair be like, you know, out. So it was what it was. So anyways, that night we ended up going to the movies. Everything was cool. We had a good time at the movies. All right, boom, we out, right? So we kept hanging out more and more and more. We always was together. Like I said, I don't want to act like we was best friends, but we did start hanging out kind of like every weekend. Like, those became my road dogs. Like, thing one and thing two, they definitely was my friends. Okay, they was my road dogs. All right, because they was always down. Like, they was, you know how you can have some friends that's like down for whatever. Like, I could tell them like, hey, let's go to the movies. They'd be like, all right, hey, let's go fishing. All right, hey, let's kill somebody. All right, so. But well, but so no, hold on. But they was just one of those people, and I like people like that. I like people that's just go with the flow, ride or die type people. Like that's how they was. They'll be ready in 5 minutes. They ready. Okay, well of course she'd be ready in 5 minutes because she didn't do much. But yeah, so that's why I like hanging out with them. And then they will always have plans too. Like they always got something to do every weekend. They like, yeah, let's go up to the park. Let's go to the water park. Let's go here. Let's do this. Like, and I was like, okay, bet girl, here I come. Like I come pick y'all up. I was always the driver, but I didn't mind that because they would either give me gas or like when we go to the movies, they would buy like one of them would buy my ticket and the other one would buy me like some popcorn or they would make up a way to kind of pay me. So I didn't mind to like pick everybody up. They was cool. Y'all, I'm so sick that they end up being these type of girls because they were cool females. Like they just I don't know. It was just cool. Hanging on the bus. So it was the time that thing one had called me like, hey, what you doing? And I'm like, girl, nothing. I'm literally chilling at the house. What's up? You got plans? And she like,
not really, it's random, but like I was just gonna invite thing 2 over here and see if you want to come over and we can have our own movie night at the house. Like you could just spend the night, all that good stuff.
So I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm thinking about it. Once again, I'm in high school, so I'm just like, at that point, I was over like spending the night at people's house. Like I'm not about to get up and spend the night over somebody's house. But I was like, no problem. Like, whatever. Like, I'll come over there. I'm not doing nothing. It's raining. Let's have a girls' day or night or whatever and just chill. So I pack up my little belongings, whatever. I go to her house. Surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, because it's not like that I thought it was going to be boring. But it was so much fun. Like, her mom was there and, like, she was giving us coolers. Okay, listen. She was giving us coolers and like she was so cool and she was teaching us like how to make face masks. Like we was making like I think it was like oatmeal, honey, and like water or something. I forgot what we mixed, but it was something like that, oatmeal and something. And she was making us face masks and she was like giving us the real tea on these dudes. Like I said, her mama was one of those type that like really kept it real with her. Like you could smoke in her house and all that, but we wasn't smokers, none of us. Like, but she was that type of mama. You get what I'm saying? So she was letting us taste like her wine and her coolers. We was doing face masks and stuff. She was doing their nails, and she was a girly girl. Like her mom was a girly girl. So I didn't understand like why thing one was like that. Like maybe she took after her daddy, I'm not sure, because her mom hair was done, her nails was done, everything. And thing one, her nails wasn't done. Like I said, she didn't keep up with her hair. She didn't want to do none of that. So maybe you ain't got to be like your parents. So it is what it is. I was just really surprised that they were so opposite. But we doing face masks, we talking about dudes, she giving us a scoop, like basically kind of being like a typical hood mom. Like, don't let none of these dudes play y'all. Like, y'all are pretty girls. Don't let them use you for what you got. Like, especially at that age, she like, these boys don't really want nothing but your goodies. Don't be so easy to give up your goodies. Like, even though we kind of knew, but she was really being like a mother. Like, don't do stuff that you don't want to do. Meanwhile, she is giving us coolers and wines. But if you ever really had a cooler, like, it wasn't that much liquor in there. But yeah, so like she was just letting us know, like, make sure y'all don't smoke. Like, cause she knew her daughter didn't smoke, and then like I didn't smoke either, because it's like I said, she will offer it because she smokes cigarettes and weed, and it's like she will offer it to probably see if we would take it. But she always told us, like, if you gonna smoke, make sure you smoke in this house with me. Like, y'all know those mothers that be like, if you gonna do it, at least do it in the house, that way I can watch y'all and monitor y'all. My mama wasn't having that, but her mama was like that. Like, if y'all gonna smoke, I'd rather y'all smoke with me than anybody else. So she'd be like, don't smoke with these boys. Like, she really just was just giving girl talk. You get what I'm saying? Don't smoke with people, don't accept drugs from people, don't just let anybody make you a drink, all that stuff. Some of that stuff I should have really paid attention to, but some of the stuff I did was one ear and out the other, and I wish I haven't, because I probably wouldn't have went through a lot of stuff that I went through when I was a kid if I had listened to her. But of course, I'm a teenager and I'm being rebellious, and you gotta live and learn. But anyways, she was just telling us the tea, so I low-key had fun. Like, it was a lit night, and we woke up, she gave us breakfast and everything, and then we had to go to the store with her and stuff like that. And I was hyped because she took us to the store and she was buying us stuff. Like, I was like, y'all, literally, don't make me find this purse. I remember she literally took us to Spencer's to get all of us this Playboy purse. Listen, I know a lot of stuff sound contradicting. Like, on one end, she was good mama. On the second end, she was giving us drinks. One end, she teaching us about what not to do with boys. The other end, she asking, do we smoke? Another end, she making sure we stay out of trouble. But then she buying us Playboy purses. Listen, this just was the type of mama she was. Okay, like, I don't know how else to explain her besides telling y'all the stuff that she did. Like, she kept it real with us, but she knew, like, at the end of the day, we're teenagers. So, but whatever. We go into Spencer's, and she literally bought all three of us, like, these matching Playboy purses or whatever. And like I was so excited to have this Playboy purse. Like I'm walking around. Y'all know at first I had my Michael Kors big gray purse. Now I got my Playboy purse. Like, what's up? Like I'm grown. I got a Playboy purse. Okay, so I must be a Playboy bunny. Like, you know, I'm excited because I'm thinking I've grown with this dang on purse looking slow as hell. But anyways, we all had our Playboy purses. So we was kind of locked in. I'm like, now that's having matching Playboy purses and all of that. Thing two, she is around y'all, but like she be just there. You know what I mean? She be there. Me and thing one was like the loud ones or whatever. Thing two was more so like a, I don't want to say she just followed, but she gave more follower than leader. Like me and thing one was more like the leaders, and thing two would just be there to follow whoever one she wanted. Like she was cool though. Like she'd be there kicking and she'd talk, but she just went with the flow. You get what I'm saying? So we got our purses. So when we be in school, we'd be having our purses. Like, hey, you know, doing all that. So we kept hanging out all the time, okay? Summer comes or whatever. We went to the movies to go see some funny movie. What came out at that time? I don't know, y'all. We were literally, because the movies was our thing, because it wasn't much to do. I don't know. But it was more stuff to do outside than to just, like, go to the, like, I don't know. But anyways, we went to the movies. And when we went to the movies, I was in the bathroom, whatever. And this girl literally had dropped her phone, and it had came underneath my stall. Like, I'm literally looking down, and the girl dropped her phone. So I came out the bathroom, and I picked up her phone, and she was coming out, too. And I was like, oh, here you go. You dropped your phone. She's like, oh, my God, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. And she pulled one of those. This is how you know a lot of times when girls are looking to meet, like, other girlfriends, too, like, friends and stuff. Because she hit me with it like, oh, you so pretty. Like, you come here a lot. Like, stuff like that. So while we're washing our hands, we're just talking. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. You're pretty, too. Yeah, I'm just here with my friends. And she's like, yeah, I'm here with my parents. Like, I wish I had friends to come to the movies with, but I really want to see this movie. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, you know, me being my friendly person. I'm like, yeah, girl, like, you can always be our friend or whatever. And she was like, oh, that's what's up. So literally, as we're talking, thing one and thing two walk in, because I was the only one to go to the bathroom. So I'm washing my hands. So I'm like, hey, y'all, this is, let me see what I'm going to call her. I'm going to call her Sweetie, because she was a sweetheart and she didn't deserve the stuff that she was going to get. But whatever. We're going to call her Sweetie. So I'm like, hey, thing one, thing two, this is Sweetie. Like, I just met her. And thing one, like,
Oh, you're so pretty. Hey, I'm thing one. This is thing two.
so everybody's all talking. I'm still washing my hands. And Sweetie is like, yeah, I was just telling Kay, like, I wish I had girlfriends and all of this, blah, blah, blah. So thing one was like,
Oh, bet, like, we always come to the movies. We always be hanging out. You can hang out with us. What's your number?
so I'm like, bet, there we go. Like, connect while I'm washing my hands and blowing drying my hands and stuff like that. So Sweetie ended up giving thing one her number or whatever. So we like, oh, we're going to hit you up the next time we come out or whatever. Or when we just hanging out, we're going to hit you up. So she like, all right, bye, y'all. Like, she literally give us all hugs. Like, so nice. Such a pretty girl. Just cool, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. So we leave. We go to concession stand, all that good stuff, right? Go to the movies, we leave. So while I'm driving home, thing one is telling me, like,
I'm texting Sweetie to see if she want to come out with us tomorrow, right?
right? Because, like, I think that was like a Thursday or Friday or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So she's texting her, whatever. I end up dropping them off, so I don't even know what the conversation was or whatever. So thing one end up texting me like, hey, you want to go to the water park or whatever? So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come over there. She was like,
Yeah, you can drive over here, but my mama going to take us.
because her family was going up there for, like, the cousin birthday or something. I forgot. But her family was going up there. So she was like, my mom is just going to take all of us. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'll just meet you at your house. She like, cool. So I get dressed, whatever. I go to thing one house, thing two is there, and Sweetie is there. So I'm like, dang, like, okay, like, cool. Hey, Sweetie, hey, y'all, whatever. So everybody's saying hey. So I'm like, okay, that was quick already. Like, I mean, she did say she wanted to hang out. So, hey. So we all hugging and stuff like that. So we get dressed and we hop into her mama truck or whatever, and she takes us to the water park. So we're having fun at the water park. Everything is good. Like, Sweetie is real cool. All of that, right? Listen. Everything has been good. We at the water park chilling. We got our swimsuits on, thinking we just those girls and all of that, taking pictures, having a good time. All right. Water park happened. We leave. We go back to thing one house. So we chilling at thing one house, and thing one like,
y'all want to spend a night?
So Sweetie like, yeah, I'm gonna spend the night. I'll spend the night. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna go home because like I want to take a shower, and I didn't bring no clothes to like spend the night. Like I only brought my change of clothes. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna just go home, but I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, whatever. So they're like, okay. So thing two was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home too. Like, can you take me home? So I'm like, yeah, come on. So we leave, and I drop thing two off at home, and I go home. Okay, cool. So Sweetie ended up spending the night there. All right, that's fine. So the next day, of course, we gotta link up again, y'all. We always linking up. This is what we do. So we link up and we just like, let's just go walk up to the park, whatever. I'm just come over to Thing One house and we just gonna walk to the park. So I go over there and like I literally park my car. Sweetie is still there, but they all changed and dressed. So we walk to the park and it's all four of us again. Me, Thing One, Thing Two, and Sweetie. We at the park. We just chilling. Like it's boys up there. Like everybody at the park. You know, we just kicking it for real. So we up there chilling. So like I said, Thing One really didn't get approached by boys a lot because like she just like like she was just one of those girls that, like I said, don't keep up with herself. So she didn't really look that appealing to boys because she didn't even care to look appealing to boys. Like she didn't care if they talked to her or not. So boys is coming up trying to talk to me, Thing Two, and Sweetie, right? So Sweetie is just talking to them back like, yeah, I'm not from around, well, not from around here, but she like, yeah, I don't go to that school. Like these just my girls and stuff like that, or whatever. So people exchange number, right? I got my little friend number, Thing Two got a number, and Sweetie got a number too, right? So cool, we get the number, we chilling with them for a minute. As a couple hours go by, we like, all right, we about to leave. So we walk back to Thing One house. So Thing One just get to asking Sweetie like all these questions like,
do you even really like that boy? Like, you like him? Like, you like how he look?
So Sweetie was like, yeah, he cool. Like, I vibe with anybody. He seemed like he gonna be a cool guy. So Thing One like,
oh, okay, like, I don't know, I didn't like his pants.
What? So we looking like, everybody kind of looking, because we looking at Thing One like, why are you even questioning Sweetie about this dude? Like, why do you care? So I literally said that. I'm like, well, girl, that's why you didn't get his number. You didn't even like his pants. So why are you even concerned about him? So Thing One is just like,
oh, I was just saying, like, I was just asking to see, like, if she really even liked him.
And I'm like, okay, so Sweetie is like, well, he is cool. I don't want to say I like him because I don't even know him. I just met him, but he seemed like he gonna be a cool person. Thing One is just like,
yeah, he look ugly to me. Like, and he got braces. Like, he's too old to have braces.
Mind you, we in high school. Like, what the fuck? Okay. And you're too old not to have your hair done, not sorry, ma'am, but whatever. But that's my friend at the time. So we just like, oh, okay, like, whatever. And we blow it off. So I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'm about to go home. Like, Thing Two, you going home? Like, you need a ride? She like, yep, girl. And I'm like, Sweetie, you good? Like, did you need a ride? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. Like, did you mind taking me home? Or I can call my mom to come pick me up. So I'm like, girl, no, I'll take you home. I don't even know where this girl live at, but like, I'm just like, when you first get your car, this is how you know when people are new drivers. Because when you first get your car, you so excited to drive everywhere. Okay, so I didn't even care where she lived. I want to drive everywhere. So I'm like, no, I can take you home. So we get in the car. I drop Thing Two off. So I'm just talking to Sweetie. I'm like, hey, you have fun? And she was like,
yeah. Are you super close with Thing One?
And I was like, yeah, like, that's my homegirl. I'm like, why? Is everything okay? Like, what's wrong? So she was like,
it's just weird because I spent the night over there. You know, when we came home from the water park, I didn't have no clothes to spend the night, but I stayed.
And she basically was saying, like, Thing One said, like, I'll give you some, like, clothes or whatever, like, to sleep in. I forgot to describe, but Sweetie, the thing is, Thing One had a nice body, but Sweetie had, like, one of those stupid big JCs. Like, one of those. He had a nice ass. Okay, like, and I'm describing this because this gonna add to something later on, right? So mind you, Sweetie was really giving Sweetie like the real life Sweetie vibes, like, but her butt was bigger than Sweetie's. Like, she was giving like a, because I need y'all to describe, like, I need y'all to picture this body. Like Erica Mena from Love and Hip Hop, she was giving that body, but her boobs was like a little bit smaller. So she had like a really nice butt, like, okay, nice. And she was light skinned like Erica. I should have named her Erica because she resembled more Erica than Sweetie. But she was a cute girl. She had some nice pretty hair, whatever. She was really cute. So that's how Sweetie is looking. Okay, so think of Sweetie mixed with Erica Mena from Love and Hip Hop. That's what Sweetie was giving, okay? So real nice big booty. So she was saying like, yeah, when she spent the night over there, Thing One had ended up giving her some pajamas, which was like an oversized t-shirt and some shorts. And the shorts, of course, because Sweetie is bigger than Thing One, they fit more like, probably kind of like, not panties, but like boy shorts. Yeah, they fit more like boy shorts on her. This is what Sweetie is telling me. And I was like, oh, okay, that was nice of her. Like, what's wrong? And she was like, yeah, but she was like making fun of my butt, saying like I guess Sweetie had dents in it. Like, you know how big booty girls, sometimes they'll have like cellulite or just like dents in their booty or whatever. Like, no big deal. Who fucking gives a fuck? But she was saying like, I guess that like Sweetie had stretch marks and like dents on her booty. So she was saying Thing One was making fun of her booty. Like, oh my God, do boys like it? She said that Thing One asked her like, do boys like you and you got dents and like stretch marks on your body? The nerve of ugly thing one. And I'm sorry, because that was my friend at the time. But I'm just saying, like, girl, you are ugly. Okay? Like your hair and stuff is not done, and you have the nerve to ask, sweetie, do boys like her, even though she has stretch marks and dents on her butt? Like, who says that to somebody? You feel what I'm saying? And like, girl, think one, you probably had stretch marks too, but she had a darker complexion, so you really couldn't see anything like on her body. And this is no shade to my black girls, so I don't need nobody try to act like I'm racist, because y'all know y'all be super sensitive on the internet, because I love me some chocolates. But you know, when you are a chocolate, sometimes, because like I said, think one had bad acne, but sometimes you couldn't even tell like her scars and stuff because she was chocolate. So like she can get away with like, you know, a lot of stuff. But I'm like, how dare you make fun of this girl's stretch marks? Like, we're in high school, so at that time, because I got stretch marks on, but at the time when I was in high school, I didn't really have no stretch marks or anything like that. And Sweetie did, but that's because she was working with a thumper back there, okay? Had a wagon on her. It was nice. But how dare you say something about her dents on her booty and her stretch marks? Like, think, well, you got some nerve. Like, why would you say that to her? But okay. So she made a comment about that. So Sweetie's so nice, super sweet. She was just like, yeah, like that kind of hurt my feelings. So I'm like, did you tell her? She was like, no, I didn't want to make it a big deal, whatever. Like, I don't want you to say anything either. I was just asking, like, you know, like, I don't know. So I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just apologize for her, because I'm really big on people, and like, I really dislike when people point out insecurities in other people's bodies. And like, for you to comment on somebody's stretch marks, when one, I don't think none of us can control stretch marks. We cannot control where we get stretch marks from, and when they come, and how often they come, and how big, how little, how light, how dark they is. So I don't think it's right for nobody to comment on anybody's stretch marks. That's number one. And then two, the dents or cellulite in her body, she can't control that either. Like, girl, we was in high school, she probably, like, she don't know. So how you gonna point those out and then ask, do the boys like it? Like, are you slow? So I'm just like, I don't know about you. So I'm thinking about thing one, like, I'm about to, like, I wanted to check her about that, because don't be being mean, but she also told me not to say nothing. So I was just like trying to mind my business, I guess. So I just apologized. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry she hurt your feelings. Like, you know, like, she probably didn't mean it. Like, I'm over there just trying to make it better. I'm like, she probably just didn't mean it, or she probably was just asking because she was curious. But you know, I'm like, I'm not gonna say nothing else if she don't want me to. But you know, I'm sorry that happened to you. And she's like, oh, it's okay. And then she asked me, like, did I ever hit that boy up that we met at the park? So I'm like, oh yeah, me and him been talking or whatever. And she was like, yeah, me and my boy did too. He was asking to meet up with me, but like, I don't want to go by myself. And I was like, oh, no problem. I was like, I'm gonna hit up thing too, because I know she got the other cousin number or friends. I don't even know. I still don't know to this day, like, if the boys that we met was friends, cousins, family members. I don't know, but they all was together. So I'm gonna just say they friends. So I was like, okay, we can do that. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hit up thing two to see, like, if she wanna meet up with her, the boy that she met, and we can just all meet up with them. So she's like, all right, cool. So I drop her off, right? So I text thing two the next day, like, hey, I've been texting the boy, like, have you been texting that boy that you met? So she like, yeah, he wanna meet up. I'm like, cool, that's why I was calling you, because I'm like, me and Sweetie, little boys that we met, they want to meet up too. So I was trying to see if all of y'all want to meet up so we can go meet up with the boys. So thing two is like, yeah, mind y'all, thing one did not talk to any of the boys. She did not want to talk to any of the boys. So I did not invite her. Y'all can say it was rude. Y'all can say it's whatever. But we don't have to do everything together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all have a boy to talk to, and she didn't want to talk to no boy. So don't think we trying to leave her out. None of that. We don't have to do everything together, okay? And even though I met thing two through thing one, thing two was still my friend. So now y'all know I'm the one with the car, so I go pick up everybody. We just went to a park to kick it. And I remember, like, we was at the park, and one of the boys was doing backflips. Like, you know how people can do those back, like 5 or 6 backflips at a time? He was doing that. So I'm recording him, right? Of course, the way I'm recording him, thing two is like in the camera. So I posted on like Instagram. I forgot. Like Instagram or Facebook. Like, I posted it on something. I think it was Facebook that I think about it, but I posted it or whatever of the boys flipping. So of course thing one see it. Thing one called me like,
are y'all all together? You and thing two?
So I'm like, yeah, me, Sweetie, and thing two together. What's wrong? She like,
Oh, y'all didn't invite me?
I was like, oh yeah, because you know, we met up with the boys that we were talking to. It's only them 3 boys, and it's only us three. So we didn't know if you want to come and just, you know, because we was just getting to know them. We was kicking it with them. And she's like,
oh wow, okay. Like, how you call Sweetie before you call me?
She wasn't even tripping tripping about thing two being there. She tripping about Sweetie. So I'm like, why would I call you over Sweetie if once again we're meeting the boys that we met at the park the other day? Why would I call you? Like, she
Like, I'm just saying, like, she probably don't even like that boy like that, so you could have just called me instead of calling Sweetie, and me, you, and Thing 2 could have been together.
so I'm like, so I got up for like I was on the swing just like sitting there. So I got up and I was like, "Do you like the boy that Sweetie is with?" Cause like I'm like, "What's the problem?" Like, cause you was already questioning Sweetie about the boy if she liked him. So I'm just saying like, and I'm like, now you not even mad. It's one thing to be mad that you like left out or you didn't come with us, but you're more mad that I invited Sweetie instead of you. Now it had me thinking like, you're just like, are you jealous of Sweetie? Like, I didn't want to say that, like I didn't want to put too much on it, but I'm like, do you want the boy that Sweetie is talking to? So she like,
Girl, no. Why would you think that? I don't want that ugly ass boy.
so I'm like, okay, like I'm just making sure. And I was like, well, do you want me to come get you? Like, because if you was gonna make a big deal about it, you could come. I just didn't want it to be us three, them three, and then she felt like left out or felt like she didn't have nobody. So I'm like, you want me to come get you? She like,
No, y'all come over here when y'all done.
so I'm like, all right, cool. So I told them like, yeah, Thing One just called. She said we could come over when we done. So everybody like, all right. So we kicked with them for a couple hours. They was cool boys. Like, we in high school, so we wasn't doing much. So we just over there, they flipping. We looking at them flip. We swinging. Nothing major. So I'm like, all right, y'all, we gonna link up with y'all again one of these days. So they're like, all right. We give our hugs to them and we did. Okay. We go up to Thing One house and we go there or whatever. So I'm just like, we kicking it with Thing One. We're like, hey, Thing One. So she like, hey, y'all. So everybody go in the house and we kicking it for a minute. And again, here go Thing One. Like,
Y'all want to spend the night?
so I'm like, girl, no. Like, it was just something about, like, I'm like I said, I rarely spend the night at people's houses. And then I'm definitely not about to spend the night when I ain't got no clothes. Like, I live right around the corner, so I can always go home. So I'm like, well, come on, y'all. Everybody that I brought here, I'm like, I'm about to go home. Like, I can drop y'all off or whatever. So they like, all right. So Thing Two like, bye, Thing One. And Sweetie is like, bye, Thing One. And Thing One like,
Sweetie, you don't want to spend the night?
so Sweetie is like, do you want me to? And she like,
Yes, Sweetie, I want you to spend the night.
so me and Thing Two already kind of looking because I'm just like, why she care if she spend the night? Like, why she want her to spend the night? But whatever, maybe she wanted to spend the night. I don't know. So Sweetie was like, I mean, if you want me to, like, I can. So she was like, yeah, I do. So I'm like, oh, okay, Sweetie, what you gonna do? You staying or you want me to take you home? So she said she was gonna stay. So I'm like, all right, well, bye, y'all. So me and Thing Two leave. I take her home. We go home. So she spend the night and stuff, whatever. All right, nothing happened that we know of yet, okay? Nothing happened. So it's been a couple days or whatever. Like, we texting all each other, or we'll get on the phone, get on 3, 4-way, whatever. But we wasn't, like, hanging out. We kind of, like, died down. All right, cool. So, one of the thing, one cousins, her older cousin, her birthday came up. Like, she would always be at the house, so we knew her, but we wasn't like hanging out with her because she was like 4 years older than us. She ended up having a hotel party. Now, Thing One is like,
yeah, my older cousin, she having a hotel party. She said we could come, we can go swimming in the pool, and we can stay if we want to.
Now, of course, we want to go be grown because if it's her older cousin, that means it's gonna be older boys there. So we want to go and be with the older boys, right? So we go. So she was like, yeah, they said we could spend the night. So I'm like, all right, cool. So she like,
I told Sweetie, I told Thing Two, so you could just come over here and like, can you take us to the hotel?
So I'm like, yeah. So I go pick up the girls. I go pick up Sweetie, Thing One, and Thing Two, right? And we go to the hotel. We meet her cousin there. So we helping her like bring in like the Little Caesars boxes of pizza and like the pop and stuff like that. And she like, all right, like the boys come in later, but we can go get in the pool. So we like, all right. So we get there, we get in the pool, everything is cool. So the pool had closed at like 8 or 9 or something like that. We all go back upstairs and like we're taking showers and stuff, and we about to put on like our little cute pajamas and wait for the boys to come, okay? It's all these girls, of course. It's all of us and girls. So we was going in like 2 at a time. Like, when one person got out the shower, they would be still in the bathroom getting dressed, but the second person would get in the shower. Just, I don't know. Because the hotel still had like her mama and stuff was like, it still was too open because the hotels is only so big. So it was still like extra people out there. So we would be getting dressed like in the bathroom. You know what I mean? So her cousin was like, all right, y'all, let's just do 2 at a time. The big cousin and another cousin had went in first. So when they was coming out, they like, who next? So Thing One was like, me. And she was like, they was like, who going in with Thing One? And Thing One was like, Sweetie, you come in with me. So we like, all right, we not thinking much of it, but we just like, okay. So me and Thing Two went in together. So Thing One and Sweetie had went in. I don't know who took a shower first or what. Well, actually I do. Thing One took a shower first. And the only reason why we know this because while they're in the bathroom, we getting our clothes and stuff out, landing on a couch or on a bed or whatever. We just waiting, like we sitting there drinking our pop and chilling and waiting for the shower to let up, right? So next thing you know, here come Thing One running out the bathroom laughing, and she waving something in her hand. So we all like, what do she got? So y'all, she in there cracking up, waving like the girl. I don't know if she took this out or if it fell out. I don't know what, but basically, Sweetie panties that she had on before she like put on her swimsuit. Thing One had them and she was waving it, so she ran out. She was like separating it, like she like,
Look, y'all, it stains in her panties. It stains in her panties.
what? So she's showing, and y'all, when she was saying stains, but when I was looking at it, it was just a little bit of white discharge. Okay, nothing major. Listen, she is a growing girl, so come on now. Like, and if you too immature to act like you ain't never had like nothing in your underwear, we're not gonna act like that. Okay, so it was just like a little bit of like white discharge in there. It wasn't even no stains as far as like no abnormal colors. It was just like a little bit of discharge, which y'all, discharge is completely normal for us females, okay? Now, if it's a whole bunch and it's different colors and different chunks, but like a little bit of discharge is fine. Like, it's normal for us, okay? When you're younger, you don't want to feel like nothing is like, you don't want to feel like nothing, right? So she's waving her panties around like,
It's discharging her panties. Ew, Sweetie, nasty, y'all. Look, everybody, look, look, look.
So I come and I snatch the panties out and I'm like, Thing One, why is you doing that? Like, don't do that to that girl. And the big cousin came and was like, y'all already the youngest one here. Don't be childish. Don't be on no petty childish stuff. Okay, Thing One, big cousin said that to her. So I go in the bathroom because Sweetie didn't even want to come out. And I give her, her underwear. I'm like, oh, Sweetie, I'm sorry. Like, you okay or whatever. Because, like, she is embarrassed. Like, mind you, it was all girls in the room. Luckily, the boys or nothing even came yet. But she was kind of embarrassed and stuff like that. So I'm in the bathroom like, hey, girl, I got discharged my panties too. So trying to make her feel better, y'all. Listen, but nah, I didn't. But even if I did, listen. But I did. But I was just like, girl, my shit be getting wet too. Don't worry about it. We just some wet pussy girls. I'm trying to make her feel better, y'all, and let her know that this shit is normal because it is normal. So I'm like, girl, when you got a big purr, you got a little fat cat, sometimes it get real moist down there. You'll be all right. I'm like, it's nothing to be embarrassed of. Everything is cool. And Thing One, big cousin came in there too and was like, yes, girl, like, you are fine. Like, you are okay. She was like, sometimes that happen when I'm about to come on my monthly as well. Just we in there talking to her. So Sweetie ended up feeling better. Like, she was, like, I don't want to say she was like crying, but it was like one of those quiet cries that like tears just come down, like, and she wasn't like ooh, she wasn't doing that. It was just like tears was rolling down. Mind you, we in high school, so I'm mad. Like, you got this grown girl, well, she's not grown, but 16 said, like, you got this teenager in here crying because you want to be immature. But that's how sweet Sweetie was, and she just was embarrassed. Like, nobody want their underwear to be shown to all these people. And then Sweetie was the newest out the group, so she really didn't know nobody. She didn't even really know big cousin like the way me and Thing Two knew her. So I'm just looking at Thing One like, you're super immature and you need to grow up. And I don't care if she had blood in her panties. Like, who the hell are you to walk around and show people these panties? You drop your drawers, ma'am. Let me see what it's looking like up in them underwear you got on. Because, girl, who the hell is you? You don't embarrass your friends like that. What is wrong with you? So, Thing One had came in the bathroom and was like,
oh my God, Sweetie, you crying? Girl, I was just playing. Oh my God, it was just a joke. You can't take a joke.
hell. What's funny? I don't see nothing funny. Nobody laughed but you, though, Thing One. So I already was looking at Thing One a little ish, okay? Even though she wasn't really doing nothing to me, but I'm seeing how you move towards people. So now I'm thinking, got my eye on you, okay? So that happened. I'm like, sweetie, you want to go home? Because, like, I don't like when people feel uncomfortable. And I'm the driver. So I always like to check people's temperature. So I'm like, you okay? You want to go home? And Big Cousin was like, don't go home. She's like, girl, I'm about to go talk to Thing One. But don't go home. Like, just stay. I want you to have fun. We're going to have a good time. The boys about to come, girl. We about to get lit. So sweetie started wiping her tears. Like, okay, I want to get lit. Like, I do want a little alcohol. You know, a little alcohol, whatever. So I'm like, girl, you was okay. Finish up getting dressed and stuff like that. Because she was still sitting on her towel, like her towel wrapped around. So I'm like, finish getting dressed, girl, and come out. We're not going to pay Thing One no mind. So Thing One, like,
I can't believe all you guys are acting like that. It was just a joke.
Like, being real immature. And Thing Two, like I said, Thing Two didn't really say much. But then Thing Two was like, no, girl, like, that was immature. Like, you supposed to be her friend and you trying to show her underwear to people. And Thing One was like,
Thing Two, shut up. Like, now it's like you got something to say, shut up.
I start trying to get on her. And I'm like, girl, because the thing was, sometimes when Thing One would do stuff, because she was so cool, but when she would do stuff, like, I was always that friend to kind of say something to her. Thing Two would just be there. Like, so now that she was finally saying something, like, Thing One was mad about it. But I'm like, girl, you wrong. So just accept that you're wrong. Say sorry. Because even if you really felt like it was going to be a funny joke or prank, it wasn't. So say sorry and let's move on. Like, stop being immature. We ended up staying, and like the Big Cousin said, she got drinks, and allegedly we drunk because we was under 21. So we having a good time, and the boys finally come. So the boys come, and it's a couple of them. So we all in a hotel chilling, kicking it or whatever, and everybody talking. Everybody pretty much got somebody that they kind of talking to a little bit. It's still extra, like, floaters. And when I mean floaters, I mean extra guys that's up for grabs and stuff like that. So it's still extra floaters. So back in this time, we still had, like, regular, like, cameras, like, you know, like digital cameras or whatever. So that's a lot of the times when we used to take our pictures and stuff on. We really didn't take them on our phone because, you know, them camera qualities wasn't nothing. So we had, like, regular, like, cameras. So we was going through our cameras and stuff like that because we could hook it up. Like, I remember I had this pink camera, and it came with the cord that you could hook up to the TV, and you can flip through the pictures on the TV. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Do y'all remember those times? Like, you could literally connect your camera to the TV and you can scroll through, right? So we had the camera, well, not we. Thing One had her camera up there or whatever, and we was looking at the videos from, like, when we was in the swimming pool, jumping in there. Like, we was just doing, like, cannonballs in the pool and doing little stuff, like, you know, I don't know, we was just being kids or whatever, and we was taking pictures and videos down there. So we flipping through and we showing the boys, because we was all in our swimsuits, and I think we was trying to be a little fast and show them how we was looking in our swimsuits or whatever. So it's Thing One camera, right? So she's flipping through, and we showing off our swimsuits and how we was flipping and swimming in the pool and all of that, and dancing, because we had the music down there, so we are dancing, you know. So we showing in the video. So she keeps scrolling and going through or whatever, and we flipping through the pictures. So the pool pictures in, and we kept going. You know how you keep going because you don't know that the pictures are about to end or whatever. So a video pops up. Guess what it's a video of, y'all? Sweetie sleep. She's snoring and she's slobbing, y'all. Like, it's live. Her hair tied up and everything like that. And she sleep, like, on the floor, whatever. Just being knocked out. She tired. She had a long day. So it's a video of her sleeping. So, you know, we did a little chuckle, whatever. She was like,
oh, I recorded you because you was snoring, girl. Like, sweetie, I just wanted to record you snoring. It was just a joke.
Blah, blah, blah. So at first I'm thinking, like, it's no big deal. Like, this is typical, like, you know, girl stuff. Like, if one of us fall asleep at the sleepover, we might record the other girl snoring or sleeping, or we might put something on their face. You know, at first I didn't think nothing of it. Like, you know, it wasn't too bad. So like I said, I did a little chuckle, and Sweetie, because we had been drinking, allegedly, she, like, did a chuckle, like, girl, I did not know I snore. I did not know I snore. Like, stuff like that. So we always kind of like, ha, you know, whatever. So she clicked over again, and guess what it was? A picture of Sweetie the first night. Remember, the first night she stayed over. The second night is when Thing One begged Sweetie to spend a night. So it's the picture of the first night when she was there, and she took a picture of her sleep on the floor like this, like on her stomach, and she took a picture of her butt in them boy shorts. And she made sure she took the picture with the flash on, because the flash shows what, y'all? Her stretch marks and her dents or cellulite in her butt. Why would you take a picture of her butt? And it wasn't like she took a picture, like, of her laying on the floor. No, it was zoomed up, like, on her butt. It was just her butt to make fun of her. So then once everybody seen the picture of her butt, you know, the boys out,
ooh, who is that? Who got the cakes? Who is the cakes? Oh yeah, who that thick mama there?
all of this. not even really knowing that it's Sweetie behind them, because at this point, like I said, it's zoomed in. Like, well, not zoomed in, but you can't see, like, you could see maybe her back and down. You couldn't really see her head, but we knew it was Sweetie or whatever. So now I'm starting to think, like, first of all, did you beg her to stay that second night? That way you could take a quote-unquote embarrassing video of her, and then the first night you took an embarrassing picture of her. So it's giving very much setup. You get what I'm saying? Because why do you have these pictures of Sweetie in your phone looking like this? Mind you, it got me thinking, like, do you got embarrassing pictures and videos of me? Because you only could take that picture of her butt to embarrass her, because as soon as her butt popped up, thing one was like, do
y'all see her stretch marks? Y'all see her dance? Oh.
Started laughing. So the guys was kind of like laughing too, but like they was just being guys. And me and thing two, we kind of looking like, mind you, at this time the cousin was in the bathroom, but they was in there smoking, like, you know, they was in there hotboxing. So like the older cousins was kind of in the bathroom. We was out there. So I snatched the camera to change it. So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, why are you taking embarrassing pictures of her? Like, you know, the first one I was gonna let slide because it was just a video of her like slobbing and snoring. So I'm just like, whatever. That could have been seen as something innocent and playful like teenagers do. But the second one, you was trying to deliberately take pictures of her stretch marks and her dents on her butt. For what? Like, what? Are you gay? Like, why are you taking pictures of her body? Like, what's the tea, sis? Especially while she's sleeping, she don't know. And then by the look on her face, she didn't even know you had this video in this picture. So you was trying to be shady. So I'm getting irritated because I'm thinking, like, then what? Why are you doing this to Sweetie? Like, and at this point, do you have stuff of me? Because let us know, okay? So I'll take it, whatever, and I just unplug the camera, and I'm like, let's listen to music. Because, like, I hate when the vibes is off. I hate when people throw off the vibes. So I'm over there, like, they play music because here go the boys.
Yeah, put my mixtape on. Let me get the aux. Let me play my song.
Yeah, go do all that. So as they kind of, like, the boys didn't really pay no mind to none of it. Like, it went out of sight. But I seen Sweetie over there, like, just in her feelings. So I go sit with her. I'm like, you good? I'm like, you know, all I could really keep offering is, like, did you want to go home? Because I don't know. Like, I didn't know what else to say. Like, thing one kept doing shit. And it's just like, how you help somebody in this situation? So I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Like, girl, you got a fatty. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. These niggas don't care if it's stretch marks on it, if it's dented up. Hell, they barely care. They don't care. Okay, they hit anything walking. Or not even walking. They don't care. So I'm like, girl, bye. You still pulling dudes out here. Don't let none of that shit. Like, come on. So I'm over here trying to get her that that bad bitch pep talk. You get what I'm saying? So she just kind of over it, which I don't blame her, because I'll be over it at that point too. Like, listen, girl, you showed embarrassing pictures and videos of me. You done ran around with my panties. Like, you just doing a lot of dumb stuff to me, and Sweetie didn't even do nothing to you. So we get to playing the game. Like, later on that night, we get to playing the game or whatever, and we all good. Like, we straight. It's still a little tension between Sweetie and, like, thing one. I wouldn't say tension, because Sweetie just didn't really want to talk to her. Like, she tried to stay over there far away from thing one. So we was playing games with the dudes and stuff like that, and, like, it was fine. But it's like every time we would play truth or dare, like, thing one she kept daring Sweetie to do stuff. Like, she had to pick from between, she could pick anybody else, the boys, her big cousins, me, thing two, but she kept singling out Sweetie. And then she kept trying to make her do nasty stuff, y'all. Like, we keeping it cute. Like, as far as, like, oh, go sit on the boy's lap. I dare you to kiss this boy. I dare you to tongue kiss this boy. Like, stuff like that. We kept it, like, surface level. Here go thing one. She gets to Sweetie. Sweetie's like, dare. Like, you know, she like, I'm a dare. Y'all, here go thing one.
I dare you to suck that boy. D-I-C-K.
Now, you know she not about to do that. Like, you know none of us is about to do that. Because I ain't. If I got that down, I'm not doing that. So, she like, I'm not doing that. You know the boys, oh, yeah, come on, do it. You need to do your dare. You know how niggas is. And she like, Sweetie, like, no. Mind you, this supposed to be your homegirl. Why would you even give your homegirl that type of dare? Like, come on now. So Sweetie's like, no, I'm not doing that. So she like, where the liquor at? I just take a shot. So thing one was like, no, if you don't do the dare, I get to choose something for you to do. Like, you know, the alternative. Like, you don't have to take a shot. I'm gonna choose something for you to do. So Sweetie's like, okay, well then what? She was like,
well, if you don't do your dare, then you gotta finish the rest of the game with your clothes off.
At this point, I'm sitting here convinced like either you're gay or you really got it out for Sweetie. Mind y'all, what have Sweetie done to this girl? Nothing. Especially that I know of. She has not done nothing to her. So why are you on her? Like, you on her top, bro, for what? So Sweetie is like, I'm not about to sit here naked, and I'm definitely not about to get nobody head. So where's the bottom? I'm gonna take my shots. So thing one, get out like,
Girl, why you want to play the game if you're not going to play the game right? That's your dare. You need to either do it or do your consequences. Like, you don't get to pick and choose what you want to do.
get in. But once again, Sweetie is a sweet person. She ain't like that. Like, she don't give off rah-rah vibes. Like, she chilling. So the fact that she was getting buck with her, you're trying her because you know she's not gonna do nothing. Like, she knew that. Like, we knew Sweetie was like no fighter, no, we knew that. You could tell she was so sweet and nice. So she got up and getting buck with her like,
Do shit, or you need not to play the game with your weak ass.
so I got up, I'm like, y'all was sitting down, I rose like this, I'm sitting down, I'm like, thing one, who the hell are you talking to? Like, cause now I'm getting mad, cause like one, I get that I know thing one of them longer than Sweetie, and thing one is more of my friend. Cause I know it sounds like it's been a long time, but we really only been hanging out with Sweetie for like less than a month, really like 2-3 weeks for real. So it happened fast. So of course I have loyalty towards thing one, cause that's my girl. I've been knowing her for years, but I'm also a real ass bitch, and I'm gonna check you when you wrong. And you wrong, and you doing too much. And you not about to buck up on no girl in front of guys because you know she not about to do nothing. We're not having that. And Sweetie and thing one knew how I get down. I'm not saying that she was scared of me or I'm the toughest, but she knew, oh bitch, if you want to go, she knew I would have gave her the rounds. Like, I don't care. So the fact that she was bucking up, I'm like, baby girl. I'm like, yeah, thing one, you're at a 10. I'm gonna need you to come down to about a 3. You need to sit down. I'm like, what are you getting up for? Like, why are you doing the most? The boys, big immature boys that they are, like,
ooh, y'all about to fight. Oh, we about to see a fight. Yo, we about to see a fight.
So I'm looking at them like, it ain't gonna be no fight. Ain't none of that. So thing one, like,
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no fight because bitches don't want to fight.
so I'm like, who? I'm like, who you talking about? She's like,
No, Kay, I'm talking about Sweetie. Like, she ain't trying to get down with me.
I'm like, girl, what is you talking about? It's none of that. I'm like, nobody about to fight. I'm like, you really need to calm down. I don't know what your problem is, but you need to relax. Like, why you got it out for Sweetie? And Sweetie the whole time sitting there. Like, she's sitting there not saying nothing because, once again, she ain't like that. As big as, not big like fat wise, but Sweetie was bigger than thing one. So she probably really could have took her. But, she not no fighter. She ain't like that. So why are you trying to play on her? Like, why are you pulling weak bitch moves and trying to play on the weakest link? I don't like that. So when I got up, and I'm like, you need to chill out. It ain't gonna be no fight. And Sweetie ain't about to get naked. She ain't giving no head either. We ain't getting down like that. So either pick another dare or let's move on with the game, or we don't have to play. So they like come. So the boys like, come on, who next? Who next? Let's just go. Who next? Like, yeah. What you thought this was? Who you think you with? Who you think your friends with? We ain't no pack of no. We ain't no hoes over here. We not just gonna give no random dude. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you, girl, y'all. I'm getting irritated again thinking about it because, like, why would you try to play her like that? Like, what's wrong with you? So I'm over there. I'm like, come on, Sweetie, because, like, she just looked at flushed and embarrassed. So I'm like, let me just get her out this space. Like, at least go and walk around, like, the hotel or whatever, or walk in the lobby or something. Like, I needed to get her out of that space because, like I said, they hotboxing in the bathroom or whatever. So we get up and leave. So the boy's like, y'all about to leave? Don't leave. Come on, don't leave. Stay here with us. So I'm like, we'll be back. Calm it down. Not too much. So, nah, but we leave with us. I go talk to her. I'm like, you want to just go home? Because, like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'll go home, too. Because, you know what? I ain't even feeling this. Like, she like, yeah, like, you don't mind taking me? So I'm like, nah, I'm so sorry that happened to you or whatever. Cool. So I go back in and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go home or whatever. So I'm going to take Sweetie with me. Because I didn't want to tell them, like, yeah, Sweetie want to go home. So I'm about to take her. So I just said I was going home. Because I really was. And thing one was like,
why you going home, Kay? You'll never go home. Sweetie must be the one that want to go home. Sweetie, if you want to go home, you need to call you a ride and stop trying to make Kay leave because she having fun.
First of all, I could speak for myself, baby. I said, first of all, thing one, I'm the one that's going home, and I'm going to take Sweetie home with me because she came with me. So thing two hopped up and was like, oh, wait, well, I came with you too. She like, y'all about to leave? I want to leave too. So thing one like,
oh, my thing two, you such a fucking follower. Now you want to follow after them. You be staying with me. Now you want to leave.
So thing two was like, this is my ride. And thing one was
like, girl, you know you can get a ride with us tomorrow. Like, what are you talking about? Like, whatever, y'all being fake.
So I'm like, who's y'all? Girl, I'm like, thing one, you need to relax. Like, calm down. Like, why is you on 10? Like, how you gonna be mad that somebody wanna go home and not sit here and continue to keep getting embarrassed by you? Now you mad? Girl, beat it. So I'm like, girl, I'm like, thing one, you really don't want no problems, sis. You really don't. You need to relax. And she's like,
Hey, no, I'm not talking about you. Like, you good. Like, that's fine. I'm just talking about Sweetie being fake. Thing what two being fake. Like, she always stay with me.
and thing two do always stay with her, but maybe she just was catching the vibes and she was like, I don't want to stay here with them. Like, I'm good. So I'm like, girl, well, you can't be mad at people want to go home. I was like, you need to be a better friend. So she's like,
Hey, how am I not a good friend? How? Did I do anything wrong to you?
I said, you didn't do nothing wrong to me, but I said, Sweetie is your friend too. She like,
That bitch ain't my friend. She ain't my friend.
since when? Like, she like, since when? Like, how am I not your friend? Thing one is like,
Girl, I just met you. Like, how you my friend? Like, girl, we just getting to know each other. I wouldn't say you was my friend.
so Sweetie like, okay, all right, good to know, good to know. All right, bet. So I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, come on. We about to go. I'm like, thing one, you tripping, girl. But I'm going to chuck it up to maybe you drunk. We'll talk about this later because you tripping. So we literally leave or whatever. And the next day, thing one called all of us. Like, well, thing two, they called me and thing two was already on the line and she was like,
I'm sorry about last night.
like being very apologetic, and she was like, I'm about to call Sweetie too and let her know that I'm sorry and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah girl, you do need to apologize because you was tripping, girl. And I'm like, the thing for me was you was tripping before you even started drinking, but when you started drinking you did start tripping even more. So I'm like, you know, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, you do need to apologize because that was messed up. Like, you was really playing Sweetie and you told Sweetie that she wasn't even your friend. Like, what? Like, what is, like, why would you do that? We end up calling Sweetie, and you know, I'm like, hey Sweetie, because I had to call her, and I'm like, hey Sweetie, I'm like, yeah, it's me, thing one and thing two on the phone, whatever. So she's like, hey y'all, like, still sweet and nice. So thing one did apologize to her, whatever, but I'm still just like not liking the vibes. Cause I'm like, thing one, you really showed me a whole nother side of you for real, and like, I don't like that. Like, I'm not feeling that because I feel like I know you've been friends with me for the longest or whatever, and you just met Sweetie. But if you can do somebody like that, like, and I know it wasn't nothing major, but like, it was enough for me because like, I really hate people that try to embarrass their friends in front of other people and especially dudes. And like, the fact that you was doing all this messy shit, like, it really had me looking at you a certain type of way. But I'm like, it's all good, it's all cool, right? Because I'm like, she apologized, maybe she cool with it, whatever. So thing two was at her house. Like, she ended up going over her house later on, and I had something to do. So I was like, well, I'll come over there later on, whatever. Because she was like, my parents is out of town. We should invite some people over. I'm like, all right, cool. We could do it later on. I got to go handle some business, whatever. So she like,
All right, well, just come over whenever you done because we about to invite some boys over now.
so I'm like, all right. So by the time I'm like, I'll go with my people, do whatever. I'm out, and my boo texts me like,
Hey, you gonna be with thing two and them later?
so I'm like, oh yeah, like, how you know? Like, this must be the dudes that they inviting over. Like, maybe thing two invited like our dudes over thing one house since her parents is gone. So I'm like, oh, they invited them. I didn't even know. I thought they was just talking about like some other boys. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going over there. He like,
All right, cool. I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna meet you over there. I'm going over there too.
so I was like, all right, bet. Like, I'll be over there like in like an hour or so. He's like, all right, I'm gonna wait for you. I'm like, okay, but as you should. So mind y'all, they already over there. So I'm thinking Sweetie had went over there already, and like, everybody just kind of waiting for me, and the boys is already there. So I'm like, cool. So like I said, like, she told me just to pull up over there. I knew her parents wasn't there, so I was just gonna go knock on the door. So I didn't even tell them like I was on my way or nothing like that, right? So the whole time, like, my boo texts me like, you almost here, you close? I'm like, yeah, like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Like, I'm texting him or whatever. So like I said, okay, I get there, and my boo is the one who opened the door. Like, he opened the door for me. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is he opening up the door for me? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So he opened up the door. I'm like, hey, like, how you gonna answer somebody else's door, nigga? This ain't your people's house. Like, why you answer the door? He like,
Well, shit, you was knocking and I'm the only one out here.
so I'm like, what you mean you don't even out here? So he like,
Yeah, they in the best.
I'm like, cool. So I come in and I don't see nobody out there but my boo. Like, he the only one that's sitting in the living room watching TV. So I'm like, oh, well, who? Let me scope the scene though. Like, let me see what's going on. I'm thinking Sweetie is here because I'm like, who you come here with? So he like, yeah, the two boys, basically like the two boys Sweetie was talking to and the boy that thing two was talking to. So I'm like, oh, okay, so Sweetie must be here. So I'm like, where everybody at? Before I could even finish, I'm hearing noise, okay? I'm hearing noise. Y'all want to know what type of noise I'm hearing? Sexual noises, okay? So I'm just like, what going on? So he like, my boo like,
You don't want to go back there.
so I'm like, nah, I'm about to go back there because front one, I want to see what's going on. Shit, I'm that nosy person. I don't care. I want to see what's going on. It wasn't like I was just trying to walk in on something or really like see them in the act. I just want to peep the scene. Like, damn, I'm here. Hello, what's going on? You know. So I'm one of those friends. Nope, I ain't gonna wait till you get done. Let me see. Let me peek in. Oh, that's y'all two doing it. All right, cool. Bye. Like, who gives a fuck? You know. So he laughing. He sit back down. So I'm like, let me go. You know, here. So I go. Into thing one room where I'm hearing noises, and I open up the door, and it's thing two and her boy in there, and they get it on. So I'm like, oh, my bad. And she like, Kay, wait, Kay, you here? But she was like saying my name, but I shut the door back. So I'm like, nah, you don't worry about me. I'm here. Yeah. Shut the door back. But it's like she was still trying to get my attention to like come back in the room. But I'm like, I'm not about to come back in the room while y'all fucking. I just want to see what was the tea, like what was going on. Let y'all know I'm here, you know, so y'all can go back to doing y'all thing. I shut the door. She still said my name. So I walk and I hear the bathroom. Like I hear the bathroom. I don't hear the bathroom. I hear noises come from the bathroom. And the light on in there. So I'm like, oh, let me go see the tea. Let me see who up in here. I know my girl Sweetie ain't giving a business like this. I open up the door. Who do I see in the bathroom on her knees? Thing one. And she giving Sweetie Boo HEAD. I'm like, not you sucky, Sweetie Boo. What? And clearly this wasn't her boo-boo but she knew that they was talking. So why would you be here giving that knock to her boo? She on her knees. So I was like, wow, thing one, okay. And she was like, K. And the boy like,
Shut the door.
I'm like, fuck you, shut up. So I'm like, wow, you gonna do that to Sweetie? Like, I just said that, and the boy like,
Sweetie ain't my bitch.
I'm like, shut up, I'm not even talking to you, sir, with your little thing hanging out. And when I say little thing, I do mean little. So I'm like, shut up. I'm like, dang. So she get up off the floor. Like,
Okay, no, I ain't even like that.
so I just shut the door because I'm like, y'all doing too much. Like, it's too much going on in here. I don't know. Like, I thought when y'all invited the boys over, like, Sweetie was coming too. Or even if she wasn't, even if we was going to just hang out with them three, why are you in here giving that? Why? So I go back out there with my boo. I was like, oh, wow. I see how it's getting down in here. He was like,
All right, that's why I was looking for you.
for what? Because you ain't about to get none of that.
He's like, no, I'm not like that. I'm just sitting out here listening to them. Like, at least I could be talking to you.
I'm like, yeah, actually, let's go to my car because I don't even want to hear this or whatever. So I open up the door. We go sit in the car or whatever, and we was kicking it for a minute. Like, we was straight. He was good. Like, I was looking at him like, you mad because you ain't getting none? You know, he like, bro.
I ain't worried about that shit. Like, I don't even care. They don't even like them hoes in there. Oh, my bad. I ain't mean to call you a friend, no hoes.
I'm like, well, you know, if the shoe fit, I mean, god damn it, I guess they gotta wear it. So no, but he was like, they don't even like them for real. He's like, I actually like you, like, you know, you cool, whatever. So we was in there talking for a minute, and then we seen like the other boys coming out. So he like,
all right, that's my ride. He like, but I'm gonna hit you up. We're gonna have to hang out on our own.
I was like, yeah, I see. So we hug, and I got out the car and I hugged him or whatever, and he was getting in the car. So I was about to get back in my car because I didn't want to go in there with them because, like, thing two, you had to have called them over here because thing one don't have none of the boys' numbers. So you called them over there. You knew Sweetie wasn't coming over, but you know, you kind of, I want to say allowed because they gonna do whatever they want. But you in there, I don't know. I just didn't know what thing two role was in this for real, and I just thought both of them were starting to be shady to Sweetie for no reason. Like, she didn't even do nothing. So I'm thinking like, okay, so I was getting in the car and thing one like,
Kay, you're not coming in?
I'm like, nah, I'm good, I'll holla, whatever, because I'm just thinking like, thing one, I already was kind of getting a weird vibe from you, but when you had apologized and stuff, like, I honestly thought like you was gonna be straight, you was gonna be good. But now that you didn't kicked it with the boy that you like, even if you felt like y'all only been friends for 2 or 3 weeks, like, you wasn't even attracted to that man. You didn't even want to talk to him, and he didn't even want to talk to you. He probably just really want head. And the fact that you did it to him like that, like, I just was like, I don't know. I was just getting weird vibes. When I get weird vibes, it's time for me to go. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm straight. So it's just like, I wasn't even mad. Like, I don't really know what to say. Like, I wasn't really mad, but it just was like, home. I'm going home. Like, I'm straight. We already didn't talk for hours, so it's late. I want to go home. So I go home, and they called me, but I didn't answer because I was like, oh, whatever. Like, I feel like y'all doing Sweetie wrong, and Sweetie don't deserve that. Like, why y'all being mean to her? And I get it. Like, I know y'all gonna be thinking, like, those your friends. Like, why you being weird to your friends over somebody you just met? It wasn't even over technically Sweetie. It's just like they started being different. Like, how they was, not even they, how thing one was playing Sweetie. I started to feel like, is this your true character? Like, do you really get down like this? And thing two, you just a follow along. So sometimes she would say stuff to thing one, but she was just there. So I didn't really feel no way about thing two, but by default you get it too. So a couple weeks had went by or whatever, and I wasn't hanging out with them, but Sweetie was calling me, and I was hanging out with Sweetie. Like, it was fine, like whatever, because she was a cool girl. So then when birthday had came up, and she wanted to have a hotel party too. And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I've been doing it for years. So I've always been hanging out with thing one for her birthday. So it would have felt weird to not celebrate her birthday with her that year. So when she invited me, I did come because we didn't have beef. Like I said, I didn't dislike her. So I did come to the party or whatever. I went to the hotel party. She invited me. So I pull up there, I come in, I'm like, happy birthday thing one, girl. I'm like, we're going to have a talk, but happy birthday. Because, I sing thing two, I'm like, happy birthday. I sing thing one mama. So I'm like, hey, all of that. And guess who else I see there? Sweetie. And I'm like, Sweetie, why the fuck is you here? This girl been dogging you, and like I didn't know if she knew that she had did something like with her little boo or not. I didn't know, but I'm like, I'm not about to bring it up right here. I'm not sure. So I'm like, well, hey, sweetie girl, like, hey, because mind you, I never told her, because I mean, some stuff just wasn't my place. Like, I don't know. I was just like, whatever. But I did ask her, like, do you still talk to boy? And she was like, not really. Like, he don't be texting me back all the time, so we don't really talk like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe they're going to fall off. Like, whatever. Like, don't ask me why I didn't tell her. I just didn't. I don't know. So, yeah, they end up, so she was there. So I'm like, hey, girl, like, what the hell? Like, what you doing here? But like I said, Sweetie was one of those nice people. She was nice, but she also was gullible. Okay, if you apologize to her, want to be her friend, she was gonna be your friend. Like one of those dingy girls. But whatever, she meant well. So so I'm like, hey girl. So the party went on, and her mama ended up. So her mama did get a room there, but it was like on the floor beneath us or whatever. So when her mama left and went to the floor beneath her, we was just standing, we was kicking in. We invited boys, because what we do. And she
like, girl, my mama go to bed by 11 o'clock or something like that. So after that, we're going to invite the boys.
So we like, okay, so we invite the boys. It wasn't our booze or whatever from before, with some other boys. So we invite the boys. They bring liquor and stuff like that. So, we turn it up, allegedly, because we're not 21. But we turn it up. So Sweetie goes to the bathroom, y'all. I'm on the phone, right? I was talking to one of my boos because, I had to let them know, like, I'm about to be unavailable for the night just in case one of these cuties want to talk to me, So I'm over there on my phone, whatever. I see them huddled up saying something, but, like, I'm listening on the phone, but I'm watching them, too, and they was over there talking about something, but I'm not sure. They giggling and laughing, whatever. I just see them getting the liquor and, like, some juice and, like, water bottles, right? So I'm thinking, like, they getting our chasers and shit ready and all of that, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm on the phone. I finished up or whatever. By the time I finished up, Sweetie coming out the bathroom, they had already poured our shots. Now, of course, I know I'm not, don't tell me like, yeah, you should watch people open a bottle, never let nobody else pour your own shots. My homegirl was pouring the shots. Thing one was the one pouring the shots, so I wasn't thinking nothing of it, right? So she poured our shots or whatever. She give me a shot, she give everybody a shot or whatever. So the first shot was good. Everybody all like, with the stale face. Because I think it was 1800 too, y'all. Oh, I don't know why we was drinking that nasty shit back in the day, but we was. So we all like, doing all of those faces or whatever. All right, cool. We playing the game. We taking more shots or whatever. So when we was playing the game, whatever we was playing, I wasn't losing. So I didn't really have to take no shot because she poured our second shot. But my second shot was just sitting there for the longest because I didn't have to take no shot. I was winning. I forgot what we was doing, but I was winning the game. But Sweetie and thing two or thing one of them, they was losing too. So Sweetie kept taking shots, right? So she taking shots, everybody pretty much taking shots and stuff like that, but they laughing, and then I'm like, what the fuck is funny? Like, what are you going on? Like, why y'all cracking up a little bit too much? So Sweetie is getting drunk, and she had like on an oversized shirt and like leggings, so she took her shirt and like tied it. You know how you tie like in a knot in the middle, because she was like, she's getting hot, so she tied it in a knot or whatever, and she kept taking shots or whatever. I'm chilling because I don't know. Like, I didn't know if I was going to spend the night there or if I was going to leave because I was talking to my boo. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to stay here. If I'm going to end up talking to somebody, I'm going to stay. But if I don't talk to nobody, I'm going to leave. So I was still going to drive. So I was like, I was only going to take a couple shots and chill. So I'm over there and I'm just chilling. So they pouring shots. Like, the girl. So thing one kept pouring them. Like, she was the only one that's pouring shots or whatever. By the time I got to, like, my third shot, whatever, she poured me a shot and I drank it, y'all. And I was like, this shit is water. I was like, did you pour me water by mistake, girl? You drunk? And she was like,
No, I didn't. Just drink it, just drink it.
so I'm like, oh, maybe she trying to make the boys think I'm really drinking, but I'm really not because I got to drive home. Like, maybe she looking out for me. So I drink and I'm like, ooh, shit, like, playing it off. Like, it's strong because I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Like, y'all, I ain't know what it was. I'm thinking literally, like, maybe she just didn't want me to drink because she knew it was a possibility that I was leaving or I was driving, or if she didn't want us to get too drunk. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. I'm thinking she just being my friend, she looking out. But she gave me a shot of water. So I'm thinking all of the girls is drinking water, y'all. Like, I'm thinking this is what they was laughing about when they was huddled up. I'm thinking they trying to get the boys drunk. We drinking water. It's a funny, like, we playing a joke. We playing a prank. I don't know, y'all, but I'm ha-ha laughing with them, right? Sweetie is getting drunk. I mean, sloppy drunk to the point that she ran to the bathroom and she had to throw up, right? She had to throw up. She in the bathroom throwing up. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I go in there and I'm like, you good? Mind you, she had one of those slick back buns. So I didn't have to hold her hair back. I'm just like, girl, you good? I'm like, get her a bottle of water. So I'm in there helping her. Everybody else out there laughing. So thing too, like, here you go. Like, she give me the bottle of water, but she laughing too. So I'm like, y'all, what the fuck? It's funny. Like, I'm laughing because I'm a little bit tipsy, but I ain't really trying to laugh. But they laughing, so I'm laughing. I'm like, what's funny? So thing one was like,
Come here, girl. Come here.
I'm like, here, sweetie, drink some water. I'll be back. So I go in there. I'm like, what? They're like,
We've been drinking water the whole time. Like, I gave you a shot of water, too. Sweetie, the only one that really been drinking liquor.
what? So I was like, wait, what? Huh? And I'm like, that's why you gave me that shot of water? I'm like, but why? Why she was, what's she like?
Because it's a prank, like it's just a joke.
So I'm like, why your jokes never funny? So I'm like, okay, so what is the point of this though? She's like,
Like, yeah, because we knew she was going to be a lightweight. Y'all, let's go look at her passed out.
at that point, I knew. It comes a point in life, y'all, for real. Like, and on a real tip, it comes a point in life, especially when you're young or you're a teenager, where you have to choose being in with the crowd or following your own mind. And that's where I was at in life. Being cool with my friends from school, with the two girls that I've been knowing for years, or getting Sweetie out of that situation. Now listen, I'm not going to say that I knew the attentions that thing one or even thing two at this point, because now thing two kind of following after thing one. I don't know what their plan or intentions was that night. But what I did know is that I'm about to go get Sweetie and I'm about to take her home. Because the fact that you think it's funny to get her drunk with all these guys here, and then you tell me let's go laugh at her while she passed out, I'm not staying here tonight. And I don't feel comfortable leaving her here with y'all because none of y'all are her friends at this point. I don't know if you're going to let them guys have their way with her. I don't know if you going to do something to her. I don't know. So, y'all, Sweetie was passed out on the floor. I'm like, my job, Sweetie is bigger than me. So, I'm splashing water. I'm literally drowning Sweetie with water because I need her to get up and walk to the car. I can't carry her. So, I'm like, I'm about to take her.
I'm like, come on, Kay, why you about to take her? Like, it's just fun and games. We just playing.
I'm like, this is not funny. Like, I'm not trying to be the party pooper, but what's funny about getting somebody drunk and letting them pass out on the floor? And it's not like y'all play a friendly prank and y'all is going to take care of her. Y'all letting her lay on the floor, basically in her own throw up. Y'all not even trying to take care of her or help her out. Y'all laughing at her. Y'all not laughing with her. Y'all laughing at her. Because you got your camera out ready to record. The boys is laughing. Like, what's the tea here? Like, what's really going on here? So, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, can you at least help me get her in the car? I'm just not going to leave her here. So, she like,
no, you want to take her? You pick her up.
that's her bet. Bet, bitch. So I asked one of the guys, like, can y'all help me take her to the car? So the guys is like, laugh, like, I don't want to pick her up. She threw up on herself. I don't want to pick her up. It was one mature dude there that helped me pick her up. She started waking up when I was throwing the water on her, but they helped me pick her up and take her to the car. And I locked the door and I went back upstairs because I wasn't finished with thing one ass. I'm not done with you. And I went up to her. I said, let me tell you something. Don't ever in your fucking life call my phone again, bitch, because you a setup hoe. And I don't like that. And what I mean by setup, granted, like they didn't literally set her up, but those are the intentions of a setup, bitch. People that want to get you drunk, pretend to be your friend, invite you around niggas, let you get drunk, pass out and embarrass yourself and laugh at you. You a setup hoe. And I don't trust you. And thing two, now I don't trust you either by default because you hanging around her and you a follower. And y'all was gonna be cool with getting this bitch drunk in front of all these niggas here and doing what with her? Just let her either sleep on the floor, letting the dudes go in there on her, or three, what y'all was gonna do with her? Cause you know for taking pictures and embarrassing people. So what was gonna be the end result? Unfortunately, y'all, I don't know what was gonna go happen, but not on my watch, not while I was there, not on my moral. Like no. So because Sweetie was my friend, I had to get her up out of there. Like, I had to. And, like, granted, if it was somebody I don't know, unfortunately, I probably would have had to mind my business. And it's sad to say. But sometimes you do have to mind your business if you don't want to be caught in the middle of something. But because Sweetie was my friend, I'm not about to let y'all do that to her. Like, and it's so crazy because I wrote this story down on my list when I seen the Kanika Jenkins case. And if you don't know who that is, look her up on YouTube. But y'all really got to be careful. These bitches be setting people up. And like I said, I don't want to act like they actually set Sweetie up and like they was gonna like do something to her. I don't know. I can't say that. But what I do know is whatever intentions they had, they wasn't good. They couldn't be good. You've been picking on this girl since you met her. You've been jealous of her. You must have been jealous of her, how she look, her body, or what. You want what she got, which is the dude. You trying to get her drunk and let her embarrass herself in front of these dudes. You run around with her panties. You calling out like you just doing a lot of shady shit, and I can't vibe with it no more. You wasn't like that growing up. Now you being shady. I don't know when you might turn on me and treat me like that, or if you would. But even if you're not, I don't even want to be friends with somebody that even get down like this. You gotta go. So needless to say, I took Sweetie and I blocked both of them. And it's crazy because they had my house phone number too. So they would call and my mama would answer and they would ask for me. And I'd be like, tell them I'm gone. You know, because I'm like, no, because I didn't really want to tell my mama what really happened, whatever. And eventually they had stopped calling. But when we went back to school, we only had one more year left. I act like them bitches didn't exist. You better not, don't talk to me, you weird ass setup bitch. Because you probably set hoes up for a living. And ain't no telling where you at now. You probably really setting people up for a living in life. You a setup bitch. You trying to get people. No, I can't rock with that type of females. I don't like that. Whether y'all, and I know y'all gonna be like, she didn't do nothing to you. Why you stop being her friend? She didn't really do nothing to you. Or da da da. No, I don't want to give you the chance to do something to me. Because now that I know you cut like that, I'm straight. I'm straight on you. And it was the one time that when I went to the bathroom, I think like third period or something, and I seen thing 2 in there. And I was like, I didn't say nothing to her. I was washing my hands because, bitch, y'all don't exist to me. And thing 2 was like, hey, Kay. I was like, what's up? Like, you know, she like, girl, I just want to let you know, me and Thing one not friends no more. And I was like, oh, okay, good for you. She like, no, you remember them boys that we was talking to? So I'm just like, blow dry in my hand. So I'm just like, she like, girl, why she end up having sex with the boy I was talking to? And I'm like, and didn't you have sex with him? And she knew that. She like, yeah, girl. Like, she ended up having sex with him, whatever. I had to cut her off because then she tried to tell them two that I wanted a train ran on me. So basically, thing 1 ended up telling the boy that she took from Sweetie, and then thing 2 boy that thing 2 wanted both of them to sleep with her and like run a train on her, knowing that that's not what she said. Cause thing 2 wasn't really like that. So she was trying to lie and basically get her. Like, I don't know, try to invite them over and try to make both of them try to sleep with thing 2 at the same time. Like, look, setup bitch type stuff. And I was like, wow. I was like, yeah. She like, no, I just wanted to tell you because I knew you stopped talking to both of us. But I want to let you know that night I wasn't really with it. Like, I just was going along for the fun of it. And I'm like, yeah, but like, sometimes you can't go along with everything, baby girl. If you know some shit ain't right, like, you got to look at stuff like that. She like, yeah, girl, I know. She like, but I always want to let you know we wasn't going to do nothing to her. Like, we was just going to let her pass out and we was just going to laugh and take pictures and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, girl, that's enough though. That's enough. She like, yeah, girl, but I do miss you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, Be blessed, y'all. You stay safe. You stay safe out here, shit. Okay. And that was it. Like, I seen thing one around school, but like, I didn't talk to her. Like, we don't need to talk to each other. She ain't try to talk to me no more. I ain't try to talk to her. Thing two, she always would say hi to me when she seen me, and I wasn't rude, so I'd be like, hey, but it was nothing. She always kept trying to be my friend, but I wouldn't allow it because I'm straight. Like, I'm straight on y'all. And Sweetie didn't go to our school, so me and Sweetie started hanging out. Like, we wasn't hanging out as much as we had used to, but we would hang out every blue moon, and Ty had moved anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, she was cool, but we still, never mind, I'm not gonna tell you what we still do because then y'all be looking. But yeah, when Sweetie had woke up or whatever, or yeah, like woke up the next day, of course she was at my house because I wasn't about to take her home. I didn't know if she had a key to the house, and I wasn't about to knock on her parents' door and be like, here go your drunk daughter. No. So I had to take her to my house or whatever, and when she woke up, I was like, yeah, girl, I had just told her, like, I basically tell her what happened because I'm like, sweetie, stop going back and being a friend. Like, they don't fuck with you. Or at least thing one for sure don't fuck with you. So stop trying to be that girlfriend. Like, so I told her, and she was just like, wow, like, thank you so much for looking out. Just real happy that like I basically looked out for her or whatever. I'm like, girl, no problem, but you need to stop being so vulnerable and stop being so gullible. Okay, when people show you who they is and how they treat you, you need to believe them and move the fuck on. Especially these girls, because they foul out here, they set up people. These girls is just no. You gotta watch out for these girls because they will try to set you up. So yeah, like I said, we was cool, but that was that, y'all. But I just have to tell you how I had to stop being friends with thing one and thing two, because them bitches was some set up bitches is what I call them, or they would just fake or foul or just not friend like for real. So y'all gotta go. And if y'all seeing this thing one, what you up to now? Is you in jail yet for setting up people or something? Like, what's up with you now? Because this was years and years ago. But how you doing? Like, is you good? Did you grow out of that shit? Was that a phase? Because you need to knock it off. That's not ladylike. That's not cute. Okay? Hopefully she learned her lesson. Well, hopefully everybody learned their lesson, okay? Because thing two, that's what you get for being a follower. She didn't backstab you and slept with your little man and stuff like that. Thing one, hopefully you became a better person in life. Sweetie, hopefully you learned to be not as gullible. And me, hopefully y'all learn how to just keep being the baddest bitch. Okay. So no, but yes, y'all, that is the end of my story time. I hope you guys really enjoyed that, or at least that you learned something. Women, if you are out there, well, fellas as well, but I'm not saying you gotta watch your back for everybody, but stay on your P's and Q's. Stay on your P's and Q's. If you feel like somebody hating on you or jealous or envious, watch out for people like that. That's all I'm saying. Just stay aware, watch your back, watch your side, watch your front, all of that, okay? But make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Make sure you're subscribed and you click the bell. That way you're notified every time your girl posts. Comment down below what you would have done. Would you have been like me and took Sweetie out that situation? Or would you have mind your business and just let them do whatever because you were friends with thing one and thing two longer? Just kind of let me know what you would do in the comments below. But you already know. Until next time. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.